made. He was waiting for the phone call to come at 2 o'clock in the morning to be made. And what that usually means in the book of the mob is that you have to murder somebody. When you kill somebody, you're a made man.
He ended up being found guilty, right? Securities fraud.
Yes.
And various other things. But he said something to you that I know must haunt you till the day. He asked you then to marry him, right?
When he asked me to marry him, I said no. And he said, you have no choice. You have to marry me. And I said, no, why do I have to marry you now? Oh, you have to marry me in order to keep the house. Otherwise, you get out, you and the 3 kids.
While he's going away to jail?
Yes.
So you married him?
I did.
Award-winning automobiles, Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Okay, the Bengals, despite all the adversity, keep it close. Raiders 7, Cincinnati 3 at halftime. Coming up now on NFL Live, we'll talk with Jim Kelly from Buffalo. Gail Gardner will report on the Giants'
win today over the Bears.
And, of course, we'll hear from Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and Todd Christensen. But first, we go to NBC News, and here's Tom Brokaw. Tom?
Thank you, Bob. I'm in Amman, Jordan tonight, and with the United Nations deadline fast approaching, there is precious little sign that the war in the Persian Gulf can be avoided.
He was in Baghdad today for talks with Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein. Perez de Cuellar is quoted as saying, "God only knows if there will be peace or war in the Persian Gulf." He says he is neither optimistic or pessimistic about the prospects for war.
I have always said that I never optimistic, neither optimistic nor pessimist, but always hopeful. I couldn't be Secretary General if I was not hopeful.
Earlier in the day, Saddam Hussein reportedly said no to proposals from Syrian President Hafez Assad that Iraqi troops pull out of Kuwait. He said that Iraq is ready to fight to keep Kuwait as its 19th province. And while the attention of the world is focused on the Persian Gulf crisis, there are other significant events happening in the breakaway Republic of Lithuania in the Baltics in the Soviet Union. Soviet forces were sent into the Lithuanian capital of Vilnius late on Saturday. They stormed the broadcast station, killing 13 people and injuring more than 100. Thousands of people rallied today outside the Parliament building in Lithuania, chanting, "Freedom." They were ordered to disperse, but so far, Soviet troops have not yet moved in. NBC's Jim Maceda has more tonight.
Pro-independence Lithuanians continue to hold vigil outside the only key building Soviet troops hadn't taken over, the Parliament. Inside, groups of Lithuanian youth prepared for the worst, as rumors spread that the Red Army was poised to storm the building. Early this morning, 13 Lithuanians were killed when Soviet tanks and troops seized the capital's TV tower. This evening, Soviet authorities showed no remorse. Our troops were met by bloody resistance. They fired first. Some suggest President Mikhail Gorbachev cannot move on the parliament without massive casualties. But few Lithuanians were in the mood for compromise. Jim Maceda of NBC News, Vilnius, Lithuania.
In Washington this afternoon, President Bush denounced the Soviet crackdown on Lithuania, warning that it could harm the improved relations between the two superpowers. Bush told reporters at the White House there was no justification for the use of force against peaceful and democratically elected governments.
So I asked the Soviet leaders to refrain from further acts that might lead to more violence and loss of life. I urged the Soviet government to return to a peaceful course of negotiations and dialogue with the legitimate governments of the Baltic states. And I did have an opportunity when I talked to President Gorbachev not so many hours ago to encourage the peaceful change there and not the use of force.
The president called the events in Lithuania deeply disturbing, and NBC's John Cochran is at the White House right now. Where, John, I gather the president has summoned now, a meeting of the National Security Council. Will they be talking about Lithuania and the Gulf, or independently will they be taking up those subjects?
I asked the president what would be topic A at this National Security Council meeting, which will take place about an hour from now, Tom. The president said, well, it'll be more of the same. I think by that he meant that the topic A will still be the Gulf crisis. After all, American lives are at stake in the Gulf. And at this point, the president and his aides see these as two separate crises. Mikhail Gorbachev's support for the president's Gulf policy seems to be solid. However, American-Soviet relations are in jeopardy, as the president said. I am told privately that prospects for President Bush's Moscow summit in February with Gorbachev are now very shaky, Tom.
And what about Perez de Cuellar and his mission to Baghdad? He left there saying, God only knows that there will be war. Has the president heard from him yet, John?
He has not heard from him. He probably will not hear from him tonight. We think that Perez de Cuellar will be in touch from Paris probably tomorrow morning, Tom.
Thank you very much, John Cochran at the White House tonight. Later tonight, I'll be here with NBC's Bryant Gumbel and our entire NBC News team for an NBC News special on the pressing question of the year, the Persian Gulf crisis. America, are we ready for war? Now we return to NFL Live right after this.
After 23 years in the NFL, both as a player and now as head coach of the Raiders, and being selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I've been called an overnight success. Hi, I'm Art Shell, head coach of the Raiders. The key factors in my career were always hard work and commitment. I prepared for the opportunities that were there for me in the NFL. That's what I try to communicate to young people like these at the All People's Christian Center. And with commitment, I know the tough world of drugs and violence that's on the streets of our cities. But I tell young people that they have choices and opportunities. And with hard work and preparation, they can become the real winners in life. When you give to the United Way, you fund the agencies that provide services to people who really need your help. I know I can help these young people get on the right path to create a few overnight success stories of their own. That's what I'm trying to get across to these young people in this United Way supported agency. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League. Domino's Pizza delivers this Dark Shadows moment. Enter a world of mystery.
You can't go down there! I cannot help myself! Come back!
The dream is alive. Dark Shadows, the motion picture, tonight on NBC.
For a cleaner burning gasoline. A high performance gasoline. Introducing Exxon's new cleaner burning formula, designed for less pollution during colder months when engines create more carbon monoxide. Exxon's newest precision gasolines for high performance and lower pollution. Just turn the key.
In just 4 days, starting Thursday, you can play Super Lotto and get a crack at winning over $50 million. Over $50 million. Super Lotto is the biggest, fattest, grandest jackpot in the history of New York State. Get ready. This could be your year.
Sue Simmons and Chuck Scarborough, weeknights at 11.
Raiders by a slim 7-3 margin, halftime at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Next Sunday's conference championship lineup is 3/4 set. The early game has the Bengals-Raiders winner in Buffalo against the Bills. That's followed by the Giants at San Francisco in the NFC. Bob Costas back along with Will McDonough and Todd Christensen in New York. Let's get some reactions to the first half, beginning with Will.
Well, I think Cincinnati's doing what they have to do to win, Bob. They're very conservative. They've thrown only 7 passes on offense, and they're taking away the big play on defense, the big pass play by the Raiders. Raiders only gained 43 yards passing in the first half.
It looked in that first series when the Raiders really came out firing 2 sacks on the first 3 plays from scrimmage as if they might just dominate them physically, but Cincinnati regrouped.
Well, it goes to show that both momentum and statistics can be liars. You look at the fact that Bo Jackson has 5 carries for 43 yards, Marcus Allen 11 for 61. You would think that over 100 yards rushing, that Raiders would be dominating the game, but it's only a 4-point margin.
Okay, well, no doubt there are many interested viewers in Buffalo today as the Bills wait to see which team they'll face next Sunday. Quarterback Jim Kelly joins us live now, and before we look ahead, let's go back 24 hours. Did you surprise yourself, Jim, in all honesty, by your performance yesterday?
Well, all during the course of the week, we've had practice as far as working with the no-huddle offense. And the way my offensive line blocked yesterday, I think Gil Gilbert could have been in there and done a good job. So overall, I thought everybody played exceptionally well offensively and defensively. We knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, but I guess that's what the playoffs are all about.
How much difficulty did you have, if any, physically? Is your knee a factor now, or is it something not even to consider for the next game?
It feels pretty good. The way my offensive line blocked yesterday, I would like to come out feeling this good every game. But overall, it's feeling pretty good. No complaints. You take it day by day and hope nothing happens during the course of the week in practice to keep me from even playing.
As you were making that comment, they put up your stats with nearly 350 yards and the 3 touchdowns, and we just showed the first touchdown before the snow began, the touchdown to Andre Reed when he split the safeties and went in.
Well, Andre Reed's an exceptional receiver. I think he gets better each week. Every year he sets his goals higher. But the big surprise is, well, not to me, but for a lot of people, was James Lofton, 34 years old, coming up with some key plays, just coming up with some big ones when we needed them.
Jim, thanks a lot for taking the time out on this Sunday afternoon and letting us come into your home for a few minutes, and we'll see you this coming weekend in Buffalo.
All right, Bob, you take care.
Okay, now earlier today, the Giants dominated Chicago, and they advanced on to the NFC title game. NBC's Gail Gardner reports from the Meadowlands. Here's Gail.
Thank you, Bob. With a 31-3 final, the Giants certainly looking like the team that was sparking Super Bowl talk earlier this season. Bucking their conservatism, playing with flair, they physically controlled this game. They took everything away from the Bears, especially Neil Anderson. And offensively, Jeff Hostetler with a career game, and you couldn't have asked for anything more from someone who had never even taken a snap in the postseason.
Well, I've thought about it a lot during the week, and I felt like the story of David and Goliath, with all the pressure and all the negative things that had been said, and I just, really felt like if I worked hard and continued to work hard, good things were going to happen.
I made mention of the fact that I didn't want to leave a stone unturned for next week, that we just have to do everything humanly possible preparation-wise to give ourselves the best chance. And right now they're in the frame of mind where if I told them to stand on their heads, they'd probably look for a place to put it.
Standing on their heads may be just what they have to do when they head to Candlestick next week, as they are the only thing that stands in the way of the 49ers playing in their 5th Super Bowl in the last 10 years. Let's go back to Bob Costas in the studio.
Okay, Gail, the Giant defense completely stuffed Chicago, holding Neil Anderson at 19 yards rushing. But here's the bad news. Rodney Hampton, the rookie running back who has become so important for the Giants, fractured fibula, obviously done for the year. They're getting set for the second half of the Coliseum. We quickly check back with O.J. Juice?
Yes, Bob, I had a chance to walk up the tunnel with Bengal coach Sam White, and he said his biggest concern is that the flu bug evidently hit his team quite heavily, including quarterback Boomer Esiason and, of course, James Brooks. He says in the first half he tried to rotate as much as he can, substitute to keep the guys fresh. They had to send David Grant, their nose tackle, in. He had to get an IV at halftime. The weather is really affecting this team in light of the flu. He said he didn't want to get fancy before the half because he wanted to be close in the fourth quarter. That's their goal, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Anthony Munoz and everybody in the game in the fourth quarter, Bob. They're just trying to stay close until then.
Okay, O.J., thanks a lot. We're going to send it back to Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh for the second half after these words from your local station.
An all-new Seinfeld is back.
I can't be with someone if I don't respect what they do. You're a cashier.
One part sitcom, one part stand-up.
Women need to like the job of the guy they're with. Men don't really care. Men will just go, really, slaughterhouse? Is that where you work? That sounds interesting. So what do you got, a big cleaver there? You just lopping their heads off? That sounds great.
The critics call it sensational, innovative, funny. We call it Seinfeld on NBC Wednesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Hey, the boots come a long way for one day.
Without a hitch.
That's not what I hear.
What?
At the airport, someone swiped your wallet.
Oh, right.
What about your client dinner tonight? You know, you're sitting on the biggest order of the year.
Is Mr. Moore here?
I'm Chris Moore.
I've got you a replacement card in cash from American Express.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Only one card gives you the privileges of membership, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
One day to the Gulf deadline, Monday on Live at 5.
Blue skies and unlikely January weather greeting Cincinnati. And now with the news, the flu has also struck Cincinnati. Certainly has been an unkind week with injuries and illness, and now having to play away from home against a tough Raider team. And Bill, there was still a couple of might have beens in that first half, and one involved the Raiders early when they had great field position and 4th and inches.
Well, they'd gone for it on 4th and inches earlier and made it. They had another chance. They couldn't have been stopped because they were dominating the line of scrimmage. Instead, they try a play pass. Not a very good one. No fake really at all. And Schroeder attempts to make a play, and the safety man is just right over there to stop it. So they cost themselves just being a little bit too greedy early. Now, you see the release by Horton up the field, and we have people all over the play. The fake itself didn't affect the play, and really it wasn't a very good call.
Had Archell gone for a field goal, it would have been a 40-yard try. So the forsaking of the field goal, they try for the touchdown, don't get the first down on that play. And then there was a play for Cincinnati that might have been when Bo Jackson fumbled, an apparent fumble, one of those inadvertent whistles here. You see Jackson clearly not down when he loses the ball.
The whistle could not have blown by then. It could not have, unless the official blew it before he was hit. And so that, in a sense, was an erroneous call that cost an underdog team like the Bengals a real opportunity.
The ball would have been at the Raider 47-yard line, and you can see in the faces of some of the Bengals, Brooks included, that they are down physically because of that flu epidemic that suddenly has struck the team. And that includes Boomer Esiason, we understand. So Sam White hoping that he can maneuver players, keep enough of them rested so that in the 4th quarter his team would be close enough to the Raiders to perhaps pull off what would have to be regarded under the circumstances as a very large upset. But the Raiders, with a 7-3 lead, will get the ball to open this second half. And that one very impressive drive that led to the touchdown, Art Shell's team using the runs of Jackson and Allen, and then the touchdown pass to Fernandez. Interesting here, in perfect weather conditions, 10 points scored in the first half. They had 44 points scored in the first half in the ice and snow of Buffalo yesterday when it was 27-17 Buffalo over the Dolphins at the intermission. So how do you figure? That gusty wind condition blowing the ball off the tee for Lee Johnson, who doesn't give many opportunities for a return. One of the strongest legs of any kickoff artist in the NFL.
It seems that this wind doesn't swirl in the Coliseum, maybe because it's so large. It just simply goes from our left to right as you look at this, and it's about 12-15 miles an hour down on the field. So whoever has that wind has a distinct advantage.
Again, just as Johnson approaching the ball, the wind blows it over. Now we understand that the winds have been measured at least somewhere in the stadium 25 to 30 miles an hour, and that accounts for some very long punts going left to right. Lynn James, rookie wide receiver, now will be employed as a holder so we can get the second half started with the Raiders leading on a touchdown pass. Schroeder to Fernandez that capped an 80-yard drive, and Breech's field goal, the only Bengals score. This one will be returnable. Ron Brown, the former Olympic sprinter and former Ram, is pinned in on the sidelines at about the 24-yard line. Carl Carter made the tackle.
Schroeder has really improved. For a while, he had problems. There was a dip in the middle of the season, but the last 5, he's really come on. Just when people were concerned that he might be the difference negatively for the Raiders winning, he's come on and played as well as anybody on the team, and that in itself can catapult the Raiders into potentially the Super Bowl.
4 for 10 in the first half. 1 touchdown throw. He starts from the 23. Marcus Allen is the setback. Come out throwing the quick toss to Fernandez, thrown behind him as they work on cornerback Eric Thomas. Going back to Schroeder, Bill, remember in November where Schroeder went 0 for 4, did not throw a touchdown in 4 games the entire month. And we talked to Art Shell when they played in Denver, and we asked about Schroeder in the call. Are you going to use someone else? And will Berline ever be in uniform? Remember how his eyes looked at us and how he really got his all-pro angry face out. The first time we'd seen it said, Schroeder is my quarterback.
He is my quarterback, and the team just continued to function. And fortunately, in a sense, they didn't have to have him playing great football because a lot of other people were.
Bo Jackson has some room. One man to beat, and from behind, Kevin Walker saves another touchdown.
This is just what the Bengals wanted to avoid, and just what the Raiders were expecting sooner or later to happen. Some beautiful blocking at the line of scrimmage, and Bo is so strong physically. Those legs are so strong. Talking to Fulcher before the game, he said you can't tackle him in his legs. Look at Steve Smith kick his man out. A great job by Montoya. A beautiful job of pulling and blocking, and watch these broken tackles. So his legs and, of course, the blocking itself.
And Walker, as he made the tackle, had only the one leg to grab, and apparently Bo Jackson, shaken up a bit, has not gotten to his feet as yet. That was a 34-yard run by Jackson, who does not appear to be seriously injured, and gets a big hand from this crowd. What a player.
He may have pulled a muscle as he was trying to pull away from a tackle, because he really wasn't hit on the knee. Now watch Kevin Walker in the final analysis in making all kinds of plays. He's pulling on that leg, and it could be that he just pulled a muscle that Bo did trying to pull away. Bo coming right at us. He's going to try to ward off Walker, but right at this point is where he most likely pulled a muscle.
So Jackson, who has really padded his statistics against Cincinnati, last year had the longest run in the NFL, a 92-yard touchdown. This year an 88-yard run, and was tackled at the 1-yard line, and he gets a big 34-yarder here on the opening series of the second half. Now the question will be, will Bo return this week? O.J. Simpson will try to do some eavesdropping, and we'll get a report.
Well, fortunately you have an all-pro in Marcus Allen.
Take his place from the 43 of Cincinnati. Over the middle, wide open is Allen. Breaks some tackles, and finally stumbles down inside the 20.
Marcus lined up as a wide receiver, forcing safety coverage. He'll run a slant pattern to the inside. Now, we've seen Bo do this as a wide receiver. This is the first time that he's had Marcus outside, and Bussey, who's not an excellent coverage man, tried to hang there with him. Look at Marcus' great instincts in making people miss and getting every inch that's possible out of every time he has the ball.
The work on Bo Jackson, it does appear to be the cramp or a muscle pull. That was a 25-yard reception and run for Allen to the 19 of Cincinnati. 7-3 Raiders as they drive for more to open the second half. Whoops, looked like motion on that one, and Schroeder throws to Allen. It's intercepted. This could be a live play, and then a fumble recovered by Cincinnati. Fulcher intercepted the pass, fumbled, but it was recovered by a teammate. I believe Zander, Carl Zander, or Eric Thomas got it. And the flag down will be against the Raiders.
It looks as though the ball was snapped late. It looked as though Schroeder expected it earlier, and all kinds of people started moving. But then it looked as though people let up.
First down.
Like the Raiders let up all over the field. Now you'll see Schroeder start to pull away, and the ball hasn't been snapped.
And now the interception by the all-pro safety man, number 33, David Fulcher. There he is, bottom of your screen. The ball just bounces to him. Fulcher in the right place at the right time. Eric Thomas was the man on the coverage. Then Fulcher fumbles, and it was recovered.
Well, these are the kinds of things that Bengals have hoped for to stay in the game. These kind of misfired plays.
And so the Bengals dodge a mighty big bullet. It appeared that the Raiders were driving for an apparent score. And here's Allen as Thomas knocks it free. It goes to Fulcher. And then Fulcher looking for room to run. Hit by Graves. And Eric Thomas recovers the ball with Zander there to secure it.
You always wonder about repeating a play like that. Allen gets the first pass because he gets Bussey out there to cover him. The second time out there, they put a corner out who's all over the pass and caused the interception. So sometimes these special plays designed to outmatch people just can't be repeated over and over, and that's what the Raiders did.
Esiason to the sidelines and overshoots his man Tim McGee. Lionel Washington on the coverage. But again, Bill Walsh, Esiason protected well.
A lot of time. No question about it. It's and Esiason now has a better feel as to when to get rid of the ball. The first series, everybody was anxious, and Esiason held it too long. Now he's unloading it.
The Bengals, the previous times in their history when they started the season winning, the first 2 games were the 2 years they went on to the Super Bowl, 81 and 88. They won their first 3 games this year, and their last 3. On 3rd down and 8. Complete to the big tight end, Rodney Holman, who has made the Pro Bowl 3 consecutive years. Holman with 40 catches this year. The Bengals insomniac is wide awake here at the Coliseum again today, and a first down at the 33.
Holman was picked up by Ricky Ellison as he released. Ricky's trying to cover him, and Ellison is not a pass defender. He's a great run defender, but they found a way to match the 2 of them up, and Holman was free immediately.
Says he gets only about 4 hours sleep on a good night. Gets a couple of hours, wakes up. We can tell you all the TV programming around 4:30 a.m. Here's James Brooks trying to get around the corner, and he belted hard as Thomas Benson supports Terry McDaniel.
McDaniel did a beautiful job outside of warding off the wide receiver, warding him off, holding him off, holding him off, and then releasing from that block and just making the tackle. You'll see Brooks now wants to stretch it. He has to stretch it outside because of Townsend. Now watch McDaniel just right there to make the stop.
You know, it's interesting, Bill, the injuries to the left hand, and his tendency, Brooks, is always to shift the ball to the injured hand. He did it there, even though the logical move would have been to keep it in the right hand away from the tackle. Play action by Boomer. Incomplete to tight end Jim Riggs, number 87. Ricky Ellison was on the coverage for the Raiders.
Scott Davis wasn't fooled a bit. He came off the block, and Ellison couldn't do anything but just get rid of the ball. Now they've been looking for that. They've been looking for that all week. You'll see Davis here come right back to the outside, and he's been trained all week to look out for Esiason coming to the outside, being left-handed, and there's Davis ready to cut him off.
Kirk Scrapper trying to ward off Davis, and in some ways that's where Anthony Munoz has missed most, because Munoz is so smart in setting up that block so that he gets the outside on his man and keeps him pinned in. And 3rd and long from the shotgun. Esiason finally breaks down. It's Greg Townsend, his 2nd sack, the Raiders' 3rd. That was a coverage sack for the Raider deep defense.
No question about it. Esiason wanted to go way down the field with the ball, and he had to wait for that to happen. So you see Townsend really blocked by 2 people, Holman staying with him all the way, and then Esiason really brought himself down. He just couldn't find a place to get rid of the ball.
Happy Van Townsend in his contract. If he made the Pro Bowl, he did this year for the first time, he can renegotiate his contract. Johnson doesn't get a lot of leg in this, but it takes a good bounce past Tim Brown and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Make it the 24 of the Raiders. 56 yards for Johnson and a timeout.
The first Saturn car will be rolling off the line to Springfield.
It used to be I saw the product that I was making, but that was just one part of 1,000 parts that went into the makeup of a car. Gonna be someday, I guess. There was no way I would ever see the cars that it went into. No one would ever ask me what I thought. Then I heard about Saturn building a whole new car plant to build a new car. And they had figured out a new way of running things, too. Seems to me that when you see where your part fits into the big picture, it means a lot more. It's my perception, anyway. But I'll tell you, when I go to the end of this building and I see that car sitting there, it's gonna be a great feeling to know that I was a small part of history.
Diet Coke presents Crack the Code for real refreshment.
January, we got a call from distraught store owners.
They just came in and bought out all of our Diet Coke.
Relax, sir. They're just trying to crack the code for real refreshment.
Crack the code?
Game, ma'am. You get these game pieces with specially marked packages of Diet Coke. Then crack the code during the Super Bowl. There's a million prizes, even...
$1,000,000 bucks?
How'd you guess?
Crack the code for real refreshment. Diet Coke. With 100% NutraSweet.
Let's go back to that last drive. 85, Tim McGee of the Bengals knocked down, apparently ruled incidental contact with Lionel Washington. And that really raised the ire of not only McGee, but of Coach Sam Weiss.
Sam was just almost hysterical on the sideline over it, but it doesn't look like Washington purposely made contact. It looked just incidental. And McGee really was slowing down, and Sam just didn't see the complete play, and all he saw was his guy on the ground.
So after another long lead chance in front of 56 yards, it's the Raiders at their 24. They had a substantial drive to start this half, and then the interception. Marcus Allen is bulldogged down by Skip McClendon with help from Solomon Wilcox. And Bo Jackson, we understand from O.J. Simpson that Jackson's injury is not a knee or an ankle, but a hip injury. Probably won't return, but not considered serious. Not something that, say, would keep him from playing next week in Buffalo should the Raiders win.
He doesn't look like there's a lot of pain. He just most likely wrenched it as he was pulled down.
Allen way out to the bottom of your screen. Excellent pass receiver. Schroeder throws underneath the Horton, the tight end, and it's a first down at the 37. James Francis, the outstanding rookie linebacker, number 50, former basketball and football player at Baylor, made the tackle. He was one of the many great linebackers taken in this year's draft. Remember, 7 were picked in the first round. He was the 4th taken after Keith McCants, Junior Seau, Chris Singleton of New England, and then the Bengals spent their 12th pick of the first round on this man, and are they happy? Led him in sacks, blocked a field goal, intercepted a pass for a touchdown.
He's actually played better than any of those guys you mentioned.
Led him in tackles as well. With Fulcher in this in 3 games.
Schroeder changing the play.
And give to Steve Smith a rare opportunity for the big fullback to the 41. He got the big catch, however, in the final game of the season, and it was the touchdown that beat the San Diego Chargers and gave the Raiders the home field in this game.
What was that? 4 catches on the year and 3 touchdowns. As I mentioned earlier, Smith is really sort of the leader, a quiet leader of this ball club. You just don't read about him, you don't hear about him, but every play he has a significant role as a blocker. He always has the critical block to make.
Penn State star with DJ Dozier in their championship year in '86. Schroeder hits his tight end again, Horton, a former North Carolina star, at the 40-yard line, and Schroeder pulled up just shy of the line of scrimmage. We're watching closely. It appeared he had a yard left when he released the ball.
Again, it was Francis trying to cover Horton to the inside, and Horton had to fight through 2 people, including Zander, to make that play. This is the one thing that Schroeder is a completely new football player. By the way, Horton, a former running back, that Rubisky, the offensive coordinator, works with tight ends, and Terry Rubisky worked with this guy 2 full off seasons, got him to gain 15 pounds through nutrition and weightlifting, and he's one of the more effective tight ends, especially as a receiver in the league.
And complete this time off the hands of Mike Dial. Yeah, that Horton became such a good tight end, he just chased Todd Christensen right over to NBC.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Horton was a #1 pick of Kansas City as a running back, a star runner with the Tar Heels.
And we have to watch out, Dick, because he can chase Todd Christensen out of NBC. All you have to do is take a couple of voice lessons, which I can help him with.
Don't be so sensitive, Bill. I mean, it's okay.
But Schroeder has improved so dramatically. What he's doing is getting back up underneath pass rushers and passing retreat. Now he comes forward to throw the ball.
Second and 10, picks up 5 yards. Hit from behind. Leon White, 51. Tim Crumry, 69. In on the play.
Again, Steve Smith right at the point of attack, making the critical block. I'd assume that Marcus and Bo must be good friends with this guy because he's the guy that's springing it.
Well, Marcus Allen's good friends with everyone, is he not? Have you ever seen a better team player that's a star guy than Marcus Allen?
It's class. So one thing he has that O.J. really didn't have was the class.
Boy, you're getting everybody, aren't you? Bob Trumpy's next. Hang on. 3rd down and 5. Underneath to Tim Brown, hit shy of the first down. A good, solid open field tackle by the rookie Francis that denied the first down. Another 4th and 1 call.
Well, he's
for
against
Art
the
Shell.
wind this time, Dick. You'd assume that he'll go in there and go for that first down running the ball because
he isn't.
No, he's not.
Field goal unit comes on.
Yeah, this is a tough one because that wind isn't quite what it was, but it's still right in their face.
Jaeger's longest ever, 50 yards. This one will be 49 into a tough win.
This is what the Bengals want. Now, conceivably, the Raiders will make it, but if they don't, the Bengals, again, are just holding the Raiders off.
A late Bengal on the field. The kick is long enough, and it is good.
And that cleared by 5 yards.
Barely turned over. You talk about an end for over-end kick. That took an end. Just one little roll as he knuckles it through with a good pop. Jaeger gives the Raiders a 10-3 lead with 5:41 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Sam's going to have to come up with his good stuff when we come back.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
Cherry Lane.
Can't believe it. Finally here. Home sweet.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, come on. We can fix this place up. After all, we're Winchesters. All I wanted was a simple life. Some investments and a home of our own. Now I wish I never heard of 1636 Cherry Lane.
Did you say 1636 Cherry Lane? This is 1639. That's 1636.
Honey, let's go home.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, even buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Reaction of Al Davis to Jaeger's field goal.
I'm sure he wondered about the call, and I'm sure Jim Otto on Al's left there was wondering, what am I going to say to Al if we miss this?
Bobbling the kickoff is Jennings, and then he breaks up the middle. And the man who returned a kickoff against the 49ers in the Super Bowl for a touchdown is dropped at the 30-yard line by Ron Brown. So were you surprised by the call on 4th and 1 into the win?
I was, because that's the one factor that the Bengals have had to have is field position. They haven't been able to get it. And the Raiders were going to give them field position with a missed field goal. But it went through, and it was the final analysis.
That made it right.
They did what they had to do.
Al Davis will be one of the 15 men in the final ballot for the Pro Football Hall of Fame again. Ricky Woods out to the 33-yard line. I think Al feels that he should have been in the Hall of Fame a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, but patience is a virtue. And
well, his entire Raider organization will be in there before he is. Every year I see new names. Kenny Stabler this time. How many guys have made that Hall of Fame that have been developed by Al
7.
and that organization?
Art Shell,
and there'll be more, yeah.
Second down. Call it 6. Short 6. Big hole for Ricky Woods. And Woods, the 235-pounder from UNLV, has a first down.
Now that was
the 44.
Dick, that was the cutback play that Sam talked to us about before the game, in which Woods would start to his left. And he'll start to his left, but the key is that the right guard will pull and pull Ricky Ellison with him. Paul Jeton will pull to his left, and Ellison keys so quickly he runs himself right out of the play.
Woods with some good yardage today. Now it's Eric Ball relieving him. Candace in motion, and it's Eric Ball cutting back.
They did it again.
Gains about 4 to the 48-yard line before Mike Horton, 45, can come up from the secondary along with Tom Benson.
They did it again. They got Ricky Ellison to move, and then they'll break back. They'll start to the left and then come back to the right. Now you'll see this, and you'll see this movement by Ellison, and that in itself gets the play started. You see Ricky move and then come right back in behind him. Notice Benson that was moving, but they're getting those linebackers sliding and breaking behind it.
Because the linebackers are keying on the movement of the guard.
Keying on those guards.
It's a long 5. And it's Ball again into Raider territory at the 47. Harden and Ellison collaborate on the stop. About a yard shy of a first down for Ball, who grew up in Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's a town near Ann Arbor there in southern Michigan. And Ball and Rodney Holman, two fine players in Cincinnati uniform, both from that town, went to the same high school, in fact. Ball migrated from Michigan to UCLA, and Holman went from Ypsilanti down to Tulane, where he started. Boomer changing his call, or perhaps just making his call. And it's a first down as Icky Woods plows near the 45-yard line. In fact, because of, as you look at Bruce Reimer's cast in a cheerleading role today, because of Montoya, they felt today, Sam Whites, that they had to use some fake calls that Montoya might have told his teammates about, hoping to deceive the Raider defense.
Well, you know, coaches are all paranoid. You're consumed with it. Before long, things begin to haunt you and ghost haunt you. In this sense, very little that Montoya really could help his own defense with. But Sam naturally would think that Montoya could remember every play and every call the Bengals had.
2 minutes to go in the third. It's Woods again. And this is the Icky Woods of 1988 that's running today in the Coliseum as he gets big yardage to the 37. Eddie Anderson with a tackle. As you know, Elbert Icky Woods with that sensational rookie year, over 1,000 yards. And then in the second game of 1989, ripped up his knee, and that's why only 94 yards. And then this year, coming back after sitting out the basically first half of the year and producing 6 touchdowns, and perhaps finally really back after 2 years to his outstanding rookie season.
Well, what can tend to happen when you are out and injured and unable to play is you gain weight. Icky weighs about 245 right now, and he should weigh about 230. So he doesn't have near the stamina or quickness he should have.
Second down and 2 with Eric Ball, the tailback. And it's Ball trying to get outside, and does. Mike Harden gets him at the 30-yard line. Another first down for the Bengals, who are staying on the ground and rushing it well. They've moved downfield now in long field goal range. But Boomer looking for a possible score that could tie it up. 10-3 Raiders, final minute, third quarter.
You know, Sam White has been identified in a sense, or personalized as an impetuous, zany, creative, mad professor kind of a guy that is highly excitable and emotional. Some of those things are true, but one thing he's demonstrating now is just the damn toughness it takes to stand in there and play these guys head-to-head with your running game.
Play action. Boomer down the middle to Eddie Brown. And Brown has a first down at the 15-yard line before he's pushed back by Anderson and Terry McDaniel. 16 yards.
They fake the run, which they've been dominating with. You see Boomer fake the run, then come part way out because he had contained man and throw a beautiful ball inside to Brown. So they're just setting it up with that basic running game, then a play pass off of it.
End of the third quarter. That 16-yard play. 10-3 Raiders. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
From the producer of Winds of War.
I have come home.
Starring Ben Cross, Gene Simmons, and introducing Joanna Going. Dark Shadows the movie, tonight on NBC.
Nobody can tell you what a complete and thorough brake job will cost until they inspect your car. Nobody. Midas gives you a full inspection up front. And for $69 per axle, we'll install organic shoes or pads. $89 for semi-metallic. Inspect hydraulics, resurface drums or rotors, repack non-seal wheel bearings, and replace needed grease seals and fluid. So for brakes done right, remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
In a world where victory is the only thing that matters, the only way to win is to risk it all. Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder, coming to video stores everywhere, February 8th, from Paramount.
For a cleaner burning gasoline. A high performance gasoline. Introducing Exxon's new cleaner burning formula, designed for less pollution during colder months when engines create more carbon monoxide. Exxon's newest precision gasolines for high performance and lower pollution. Just turn the key.
Jane Hansen, weekday mornings at 6 on Today in New York.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, the Coliseum. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. We go to the fourth quarter. The winner will travel to Buffalo for the AFC Championship next year. This is the continuation of an impressive Bengal drive. 8 plays. They've gone 55 yards to a first down at the 16 of Los Angeles, using 7 rushes, and that last play was a pass to Brown.
It's so tough as you get in here because the safeties now can come up and make tackles. They don't have to cover a field.
It's Ickey Woods breaking tackles down to the 11-yard line. Picked up 5 against a team toughest in the league to score a rushing touchdown against the Raiders.
Again, a negative block by Paul Jeton, number 68, the right guard. Now you'll see him block down this way, and then the ball break back behind it. And that's the kind of thing they've been getting away with. The Raider linebackers start one way, and then they break it in behind it, over and over and over.
2nd and 5. And again, it's Woods with a room to run, and he has a first down at the 5. So the Bengals continue to drive the ball on the ground. Alex Gordon acquired this year from the Jets in a trade for cornerback Dennis Price, number 55, made the tackle. It's 1st and goal.
Ken Moyer does a great job of trapping on this play. Now you'll see him pulling right here and make a big play inside out. A great job. I think that's Robinson that he blocks. What I'm so impressed with is the Bengals are moving the ball inside the 20, running with it, and that is really tough at this point on the field because those safety men don't have to play pass.
Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator of the Raiders. His team has allowed only 4 rushing touchdowns all year, best in the NFL. Eric Ball can't get outside, and he loses 2. Terry McDaniel made the play.
Well, Ball wanted to get it all on that one play, and he had to make a decision in a 10th of a second on where to go. Once he decided to go outside, it was over because that Raider defense was all going in that direction. But at this point, that's really the only bad play of the drive, if you want to call it that. Now, I know the Raiders have the Bengals have a play pass that Sam's worked on at this point in the field, so we can almost assume that this would be the down for the play pass, 2nd down.
James Brooks and Eric Ball are in the backfield now. Who would throw the pass?
Oh, it'll be Boomer.
Just gets off the play. Give to Brooks. Hit in the backfield for another loss. Tom Benson. 3rd and goal. They've lost just 1 yard. They give progress to the 8-yard line.
Well, now it's the receivers, the receiving group, and Boomer to throw the ball.
Boy, was that a great open field tackle by Benson, who was one of the many Plan Bs acquired by the Raiders the last 2 years. He played at New England. Originally drafted by Atlanta. 3rd and goal, 8-yard line. Touchdown! Underneath it goes to Stanford Jennings. His first call of the game. Jennings, who silently has been on the sidelines, comes in on 3rd down and works his way open. It was Boomer's initial move to buy time, and Jennings with a score and a chance to tie it on this upcoming extra point.
Boomer came outside. He used his quickness and agility to get outside of Townsend, because he rarely goes to his right. Now he throws back inside, and I'm not sure who the ball was really thrown to there. I'd have to hope that it was Jennings, but behind him, I didn't get the number, was Eddie Brown, who was wide open, and you could see that developing, but Jennings got between Brown and the ball.
And now an important extra point try by Breech. It's 10-9.
The touchdown rule on the field, we are being reviewed by instant replay.
What could that review be for? Maybe someone upstairs felt it was trapped. Well, let's take a look at it. It appeared to be an apparent catch from our angle, but this is what they're looking at.
Oh, he's got it. Unless they've got an angle. Oh, yeah, he had it all the way. Unless there's an angle on the other side that would see him dropping it. It looked like he had it all the way. Sometimes you wonder about some of these replays. That looks like a catch all the way.
We reset the play clock to 5 seconds.
Tom Dooley is the referee. You see the catch from all angles. Fairly convincing evidence, it would appear. But there have been surprises. And now Breech, under the watchful eye of White, gets it through. Let's go back to the move by Boomer Esiason to elude the rush of Townsend, 93.
Townsend is going to play for Boomer to go to his left, being left-handed. Howie Long looks like he jumped 2 feet in the air, but Boomer just timed it just long enough to move outside of Townsend. Beautifully done.
It's tied at 10 with less than 12 minutes to go.
No one can guarantee you a perfect world. A world where the unexpected never intrudes. But some of us know we'll be taken care of quickly and compassionately. In an imperfect world, you're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
The Bengals have tied it at 10, and there's the prototype pro tackle, Anthony Munoz, 10 times a Pro Bowler, congratulating his young replacement, number 76, Kirk Strafford, the free agent from Montana. And now Lee Johnson nails it right out of the end zone on the kickoff, and the Raiders begin at the 20-yard line. The AFC Championship next Sunday at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where the omnipotent Bills at home, 9-0, perfect this past year, including the playoffs after their win yesterday against Miami, will host the winner of this game. That'll be an early game, So NFL Live will be on at 9 a.m. next Sunday. What a picture setting. Look at that blue sky. All the smog has been blown out by the wind. Temperature near 80 degrees and 90,000 plus tickets sold for this playoff. And the Raiders have found themselves now in a fourth quarter tie game with these tenacious Bengals. Marcus Allen gets around the corner and picks up 12. Bussey made the tackle.
The same name. Steve Smith makes the big block on the outside that Marcus sprung off of. And Smith found a way to just control his man, then turn him at the last second. Marcus knows just where to go with that ball. His instincts in that area are so beautiful. Normally he cuts back. That time he sensed it and broke out where Bo usually runs.
81 yards for Marcus. 14 carries. Bo Jackson apparently through for the day with a hip injury on a long 34-yard run. On first down, Schroeder over the middle. Fernandez can't quite pull it in. Well, Bo Jackson probably won't play today, and 4 weeks ago against Cincinnati on this field, he went 88 yards on a tremendous ad-lib reverse. Here it is. They had him pinned in as he tried to roll to his left. As you know, Jackson does most of his good running to the left. Couldn't get around the corner. Decided to go this way. And 88 yards later, only Rod Jones, number 25, would catch him. And that alone was a piece of news that Jones could catch who a man many feels the fastest in football. And Jackson at the 1-yard line nipped him on the heels. 2nd and 10 now as Schroeder drifts back. And hit with a blitz, and down he goes for the 3rd time. Carl Zander came through cleanly on the blitz.
Zander waited before he blitzed. He sat there for a second and let the pass protection develop before he started in. Now you'll see him right here, and he's going to wait before he goes. He'll sit there. Now here he comes, and there isn't going to be anybody there to block him. So it was a timed blitz against the forward pass.
Zander from Tennessee still makes his home in Knoxville, where he sells real estate in the offseason. Less than 11 minutes to go, and now Schroeder faces a 3rd down 20. Good protection. And a great catch by Tim Brown. First down at the 48-yard line. At 20, got 26.
Beautiful throw by Schroeder. Brown's going to come down and get on the outside of Thomas, then break back in with a lot of hand fighting. But look at the throw. The throw had to be just right, because it had it been short, Thomas would have been going the other way with the ball.
A big 3rd down and long throw to Brown, who's had good luck against the Bengals. You see there in the game in December, he had a couple of touchdown catches against the Cincinnati defense, and that's playing really in a limited role, basically 3rd down and long situations.
There's a man down on the Raider side of the bench here. I can't see it, Dick, but I saw the doctor and trainer come running over from the Bengals side.
Might be, yes, it's David Fulcher, the top hitting safety and Pro Bowler for Cincinnati. We'll take this time out.
No matter where you look, there's Mazda. We're introducing new products like the Miata, setting new sales records, winning the respect of the automotive press, and winning awards for both quality and customer satisfaction. But most important, we're making thousands of people feel just right.
Rolling. Okay, we're taking the scenic route to Tampa.
With Super Bowl tickets found in a case of Miller Lite.
You all right? Did you have the shrimp loaf?
And since there's instant win cards in 12 packs of cases and 45,000 prizes, anybody can win Super Bowl tickets. The hogs, the dogs, anybody. So who will find tickets and join us in Tampa?
We're not really sure, but at least we know what to wear.
Only one beer has your tickets to Super Bowl 25, Miller Lite.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish my old partner was here tonight, because this used to be our song. I have everything.
All my dreams come true.
Eddie.
You in my arms, stocks and bonds, and a hope for two.
In the movies, companies, happy endings are easy. But in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, even buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Diet Coke, real refreshment just for the taste of it. By the Prudential. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock. By Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. And by Miller Lite, the only beer that has your tickets to Super Bowl 25.
Magnificent picture, isn't it? This historic Coliseum filled with 90,000 fans first time. And Marcus Allen drives into Bengal territory and carrying two men with him. Bussey and Walker is to the 45-yard line. David Fulcher, they were working on the back of his right leg. There it is. Do not know how serious.
Can you believe a 240-pound safety man in this day and age? Fulcher's one of the great players and really the prototype of the new position in football is so important. The safeties that can come up and make the big hits. So this guy at 240 pounds plays the deep middle part of the time.
He's okay, and he's back in the lineup now. Steve Smith with a call. Close to a first down at the 32 of Cincinnati. Tim Crumry reversing to make the tackle, number 69. He, of course, the man who fractured his leg in the Super Bowl.
With Bo out, they're going to alternate, I'm sure, Smith and, of course, Marcus Allen. But Smith is excellent late in the game because he still has that strength, and he can still break the tackles inside.
Could you ever use a back that averaged 12.5 yards plus again per carry?
12.5 a game.
It is a first down. 10-10 the score. 9 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Lots of time for Schroeder, going for Horton. Horton has it. Touchdown. Great story it is. Ethan Horton given up after a failure as a running back and a #1 pick in Kansas City, but one of the many Raider projects converted to tight end, much as Todd Christensen, a running back, was converted to tight end, and his big moment now has given the Raiders the lead on a 41-yard play. Here's Jaeger's try for point, and it is 17-10 Los Angeles.
A beautiful throw and a beautiful pass pattern. Horton's going to break into the flat and then circle up the field. And it's a beautiful throw right over the top and a great catch. Now that's the kind of thing that you rarely see done in the NFL, is a tight end getting deep down the sideline and the ball actually getting there accurately. Beautifully done. And Schroeder's got to take a lot of pride in that one.
Schroeder to Horton, 41 yards and the lead.
Coke presents Crack the Code for Real Refreshment.
January, we got a call from distraught store owners.
They just came in and bought out all of our Diet Coke.
Relax, sir. They're just trying to crack the code for real refreshment.
Crack the code?
Game, ma'am. You get these game pieces with specially marked packages of Diet Coke. Then crack the code during the Super Bowl. There's a million prizes, even...
$1 million?
How'd you guess?
Crack the code for real refreshment. Diet Coke. With 100% NutraSweet.
The boss in the family will be glad to know the 91 Mazda 626LX comes standard with an AM/FM cassette stereo, power windows and locks, power remote mirrors. And right now you can save up to $820 on an LX value pack with air conditioning, moonroof, and an anti-theft alarm. Plus factory-to-dealer incentives that can save you hundreds more. You're welcome, the Mazda 626.
It just feels right.
Got a painful cold? Alka-Seltzer Plus relieves painful cold symptoms some others miss.
Everything feels better, better, better.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Relief for your painful cold.
The product.
the proving grounds, the results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
Well, the Raiders, through their years under Al Davis, always have enjoyed great tight ends, touchdown catching Raymond Chester and Dave Casper and Todd Christensen. Ethan Horton trying to follow in that legacy. Perhaps his biggest as a Raider, 41 yards with less than 9 minutes to go, and the Raiders lead 17-10. The kick to Stanford Jennings. And Jennings dances his way to the 32-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown. A great rainbow throw by Schroeder.
Horton went in motion. He'll come to this side of the field and start up the field, and it'll end up with White trying to cover him, a linebacker. So you'll see him come across, and the coverage is dropped by the safety, Bussey, and White suddenly ends up with him going down the field, and it's a beautiful throw and catch. Just a beautiful job. And it's so rarely done that it's good to draw that play up, but you rarely can make it work.
4 catches for Horton and his 4th touchdown of the year. And now the Bengals, plenty of time, but the crowd into it now for the Raiders. Ickey Woods smothered after a yard.
The Bengals are, of course, this is the test all season from the first day of training camp, all the mini camps, everything, right down to one final drive for the Bengals at this point. And Sam's going to have to throw the ball on this down. He can't take a chance on just a 3rd down pass completion to sustain this drive. He's got to throw now.
McGee with 1 catch, no yards to the right. Eddie Brown to the left has only 2 catches. Coleman's the man that Boomer likes to go to. Big tight end is on the left side. Brooks in motion. Boomer scrambling. Caught from behind, just shy of a 1st down at the 39. Scott Davis and Tom Benson with a tackle.
I'll tell you, Dick, Kick Stratford, that left tackle, that young guy that's playing his first game is doing better than anyone could ever think he could do against a guy like Davis. And Ken Moyer right next to him, a free agent guard who'd been waived twice. These guys are playing their hearts out.
Stratford said he went to the combine, the pro combine. They looked at his legs and said, you don't belong here as a tackle. Maybe you're a tight end. He said, but I can't catch the ball. He's got very thin, spindly legs, but very quick on his feet. Boomer with a sneak and a 1st down at the 43.
Now that was well done. Boomer started, he hesitated. He stepped left, then fought right through a little slot on the right. That was by design. The backs went left. Boomer snuck to his right. Well, you'll see Boomer go back to the right side after the backs start to the left. You see him that way, then come right back inside. And Ellison, again, started over for those backs.
6.5 minutes remain, 4th quarter. The Raiders 17, the Bengals 10. Play action, Townsend gets Boomer. Everyone else in black had gone for the fake and were moving to the far sidelines, but Townsend played his area, and that a mighty big defensive play.
Townsend will come up the field unblocked, as by design. They thought he would go with the fake, and Boomer tried to use that same move he'd used earlier, and Townsend wouldn't buy it.
4 Raider sacks today, 3 by Townsend, who led them on the season with 12.5. Now on 2nd and long. Almost intercepted by Eddie Anderson as that pass really floated on its way to McGee. And Anderson injured on the play. McGee was open, but the pass took forever to get there.
Looks like that pass was tipped in the line of scrimmage somewhere.
as they attend. Eddie Anderson will take this break. 5:48 left.
Come on, you guys. We're going to be late.
So what? We're just going to lose again anyway.
The Mazda MPV four-wheel drive can help you get just about anywhere you want to go.
Let's go home.
Its V6 engine and rear anti-lock brakes let you handle even the worst weather with confidence.
Face it, Mom, we stink.
Hey, where's that team spirit, huh?
Hey, Gail. The other team couldn't make it. You guys win by forfeit.
The Mazda MPV four-wheel drive.
It just feels right. If the weather stays bad, we could take the title.
Mobile communication is the power to hold your world together. At GTE, we can put that power at hand to take with you where it has never gone before. Into the skies, down endless highways, beyond all past limitations. At GTE, we give you the freedom of personal communication and the power of new opportunities. Because at GTE, the power is on.
If you're like a lot of people, you're probably trying to cut back on caffeine. You certainly don't want to find it in unexpected places. So you might be surprised to learn that your pain reliever may contain caffeine. Check the label. There is no caffeine in Tylenol. With Tylenol, all you get is fast, effective relief without caffeine. And you should know that hospitals use Tylenol nearly 5 times more than all other pain relievers combined. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right.
.48 to go. 3rd and 25 for Cincinnati. Greg Townsend's 15-yard sack of Esiason destroying this drive. Jennings was open, but incomplete.
Well, they just want to get the drive over with, the Bengals do. Just get it over with, pump the ball, use their timeouts if necessary, and get it back one more time. So the Raiders, Art Shell's going to have his team blast him, as he calls it, and smash him, as he calls it, go right after him with a running game. The Bengals are going to have to try to get it back using timeouts and defenses where they're going to have to gamble to stop the run.
Lee Johnson has punted very well all day, and he lifts another good one toward Tim Brown to the 24. Brown hit at the 30-yard line. And a timeout with 5:32 remaining in the final quarter.
Rolling. Okay, we're taking the scenic route to Tampa with Super Bowl tickets found in a case of Miller Lite. You all right?
Did you have the shrimp loaf?
And since there's instant win cards in 12 packs of cases and 45,000 prizes, anybody can win Super Bowl tickets. The hogs, the dogs, anybody. So who will find tickets and join us in Tampa?
We're not really sure,
but at least we know what to wear.
Only one beer has your tickets to Super Bowl 25, Miller Lite.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to the most places across the country? Who did you think?
Whenever my brother Tom and his friends had to decide what game to watch on TV, it was a toss-up.
Heads or tails? Heads.
Then Tom got smart.
Very smart!
He got this Magnavox TV with a built-in smart window, so Killer could watch football on the main screen.
And without getting mad when Stork and I check out basketball on the smart window.
You might say Magnavox saved your friendship, Tom.
You could actually say it saved my life.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart. Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to the most people coast to coast? Who did you think?
She lost all that blood. Where did it go?
Whoever did this took it with him. A town terrorized by an unusual killer.
The only one who's still alive can't remember a thing.
With only one way to stop it.
Sheriff wants to talk to you.
Because in this town, they all have a stake in it. Dark Shadows, the movie on NBC tonight.
Well, from San Francisco to Saudi Arabia, we welcome you back to the Coliseum and in Los Angeles. You fans able to watch because Bo Jackson and Nike, with some clever marketing, said, hey, we'll pick up the final 6,000 tickets so that the fans here in Los Angeles would not be blacked out. From the 30-yard line. The Raiders just trying to kill the final 5.5 minutes and then pack up for Buffalo. And Marcus Allen gets a big 8 yards on first down. And he now is over 90 yards on the day as he's averaging nearly 6 yards a carry. Fulcher made the tackle.
A mistake the Bengals can make, and it looked like they began to make it on that play, is go for the ball dig and try to pull it out of there and get a fumble. And as the process of doing it, they let Marcus get 3 and 4 and 5 extra yards, and so the Raiders can just run the clock down or out. So the Bengals aren't ready to have to do that. They've got to meet this ball carrier head on. Don't worry about fumbles. Stop him. Stop him from that first down.
In the final 5 minutes now, the clock will stop on out-of-bounds plays. Schroeder using the full 45. Give to Steve Smith, and it's a first down across the 40-yard line. And now Sam Weiss has to think about spending those 3 timeouts available to him. 4.5 minutes to go. Already in the huddle, well into the huddle, and on the play clock 25 seconds still remain. So that 45-second rule, I know there's been some consideration in the final minutes of games to reload that at a shorter price because 45 seems a long time to kill. But the Bengals do not use a timeout. Less than 4 minutes to go now. It's Allen. Big to the 39-yard line. Marcus Allen.
Steve Wright, Max Montoya pulling and trapping a beautifully blocked play. Rory Graves came right off the line on Grant and knocked him off the ball. And this is one of the problems. The Bengals want that ball back so badly. You see Graves, you see Montoya, and there's Steve Smith again coming right through the line of scrimmage.
Marcus Allen with 116 yards, 20 on that run. And it was Marcus Allen that was the star the last time the Raiders won a playoff game. That was the Super Bowl in Tampa some 6 years ago. And Allen at the time gained 191 yards in that Super Bowl win against the Redskins and came out at the end of the game. And he said at the time didn't think anything about it. He said, let Greg Pruitt go in. He's never been in a Super Bowl. Let him carry the ball. The veteran runner they had acquired from the Cleveland Browns. He said, I thought I'd be back next year. We had such a good team. He said, if I'd have known that long, I wouldn't have been so unselfish. But Tampa Bay is the site again for the Super Bowl and is a deja vu for Marcus. On Friday night, it'll be our pleasure to be with you at 8 o'clock Eastern Time for the NutraSweet World Professional Figure Skating Championship to see Brian Boitano, arguably the greatest male skater ever. You'll see him, Torvill Dean, Robin Cousins, the 80 gold medalist, and more. It's an elegant hour of the greatest figure skaters at 8 o'clock next Friday night on NBC. First down. And Allen wrapped up by Tim Crumrye. Crumrye's memories of Super Bowl not so pleasant, as we documented earlier. And there the clock stopped by Sam Weiss. So Weiss spends his first time out. 3:37 left. The Raiders with the ball and a big 7-point lead.
Around here, a new house may have been built in 1750. And just off Route 140 near Grafton, Massachusetts, you'll see land that's been in the family for 7 generations. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, all across America. And every day, with every car nationwide, only Alamo gives you all those miles for free, including 22 miles of road in a place they've been calling New England for more than 300 years.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that takes your breath away? That's the taste of real refreshment. That's the real Diet Coke. That's the taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of Diet Coke.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sport Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right guard sports stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Buongiorno. I'm in Italy enjoying one of the true specialties of Italian cuisine, the New York strip. Perfecto. Boy, feels like I'm in the USA. Beef, real food in Little Italy, New York.
End of a beautiful Sunday afternoon weather-wise in Los Angeles, and the Raiders running against one of the poor rush defenses in the league. Apparently a key to their lead at 17-10 and to their running out the clock here at the end of the game. Bo Jackson carried 6 times for 77 yards before injured. You see the HAD F-14. He loves jet airplanes, fighter airplanes. He said that that's the one wish beyond athletics that he would like most of all, to be able to fly a jet fighter. He has the right stuff. Schroeder. Smith breaks the tackle by Fulcher and gains 3 more down to the 33. Clock is running, and at this point, no timeout by Weiss, and now it is stopped at the 3:24 mark. That would be the second Bengal timeout.
You keep saying this is the play of the game, but this is the play of the game. If the Raiders can get a first down here, then they're going to be able to run the clock down to 0 or kick a field goal.
Well, you saw the correct information there. That is Bengals' last timeout.
Reminder, follow your...
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Sam Weiss, his team underdogs for good reason on the road, where home teams seem to prevail so successfully in the playoffs. His team injured key players, Brooks, Reimers, Munoz, outstanding players. Then the flu hits his team. He's kept them close at 17-10, but now out of timeouts and a 3rd and 4, still long field goal range. So it's a big play for the defense with 3:24 left.
You've got to figure Marcus is going to carry the ball. There it is.
He does, and he's got a first down and more. Marcus Allen all the way to the 15. What a run.
Just again, Max Montoya and Steve Smith and Steve Wright pull. First Montoya strap. There's Wright turning back. Now look at this guy's balance. What a clutch player. Of all the people in football, he's the guy you'd like to see with the ball to take time off the clock and to finish somebody off.
135 yards, his best rushing game of the season. Of course, he's been sharing that the latter part of the year. And Max Montoya, what sweet revenge, throwing a key block against his former teammates. Allen again, no way to stop the clock for the Bengals, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Montoya coming to Los Angeles, surprisingly to Cincinnati. He has a restaurant in the Cincinnati area. His 2 children go to school there. He loves Cincinnati, still lives there, will go back to Cincinnati. The Bengals didn't figure he'd go plan B, but the dollars were too big, and the Raiders put up a 6-figure increase in his salary. He said, I had to come here.
It's amazing. He's from Los Angeles, a very attractive place to live, but he wants to live forever and bring his family up in Cincinnati. Says the schools are great, the atmosphere is great, and you hate to see him leave his parent team.
There's the 2-minute timeout.
You know when it's right, you know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. If it's irrepressibly lovable, unsurpassably callable, and intimately soulful, you got the right one, baby.
2 minutes to go. No timeouts left for Cincinnati, and the Raiders with the ball at the 15-yard line, Bengal territory, and a touchdown lead. And this large crowd, the largest of the entire National Football League season, 92,035 in attendance, and most of them supporting the hometown Raiders are already looking to next Sunday in a Raider-Buffalo rematch. Remember, they played earlier in the year. The Raiders led by 10 points in the fourth quarter when the Bills pulled one of their many fourth quarter comebacks, scored 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win it 38-24.
That would be a great matchup, and I would have to assume that'll be the matchup. The only problem with the Raiders is they just don't get on the scoreboard enough. They execute well. The design of what they do is good. Their players play beautifully, but they just don't get on a scoreboard, and that would worry me with them going in against the Bills, because the Bills are really scoring.
Meanwhile, the Bengals' very slim hopes come down to 2 minutes, second down and 10, and if Schroeder does no more than just protect the ball, he can almost consume the necessary time with that 45-second rule.
Now's the time to go for the ball. That's all. The only hope there is. Somehow wrench the ball away.
Steve Smith. And the big guy from Penn State just embracing, hovering around that football, brought down by Fulcher. And the clock ticks away.
Well, Sam Weiss brought this team in with their foot to the floor. I mean, they had the throttle all the way down, and they had an excellent game plan. They played their hearts out. They've had a fine year, and to come in here with all those disadvantages and problems that have cropped up, this guy has done a masterful job with his team, as has Boomer and the entire team. They've got nothing really to be ashamed of.
We hope you'll stay with us. We'll have a final wrap-up of this playoff Sunday. Tim Krumrie wearing the wounds of this difficult play. O.J. Simpson is endeavoring to locate Bo Jackson. We'll get a word from him prior to the Raiders going back in the locker room. And the Raiders use a timeout at the 1:12 mark. The play clock is at 25 seconds. It's an interesting timeout. I would guess that Schroeder just wants to be certain no mistake is made on this play call, that he's going to get it firsthand from Art Shell, the youngest head coach in the National Football League, and his young coordinator you see on the left, Terry Robisky. They will indeed have a chance to wrap up the day's play with Bob Costas and company on NFL Live. There's one of the young Raider fans, perhaps a son of one of the Raider players.
He's with Bo Jackson. That could be
one of Bo's sons. There is number 34, whose love for children is quite apparent. Those of you who have read his book, doesn't really have a relationship, or didn't, with his father. He wants most of all, when you talk about all of his athletic prowess, what he always brings forth first in conversation is his desire, ultimately, most importantly, to be a good father. Those are, we understand, both Bo's young children, and you can't see in the periphery, but there are 50 agents waiting to sign them up. So with 1:12 to go, it's Marcus. Ooh, slips at the 8-yard line. That'll be shy of the first down, third down. The clock runs to the 1-minute mark.
Oh, are we going to get a field goal? They'll let it run down. They can kick it and put it away. The only problem, of course, with the field goal is the block.
The clock, game clock at 47:25 on the play clock, so that's a 22-second difference, so they'll let it run down to the 22-second mark. And the Bengals, Sam Weiss, wondering, as we are, if indeed Archell will flirt with possible disaster on a field goal block.
The Raiders this year, about the second half of the year, have really found a way to take advantage of all of that talent, from Tim Brown to Ethan Horton, Willie Galt, Fernandez, the entire group, Steve Smith, all the talented players they're taking full advantage of now. What an array of talent.
Raiders call a timeout that gives us the opportunity to announce Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game, Marcus Allen of the Los Angeles Raiders. McDonald's and NBC donate $5,000 on behalf of Allen and the LA Raiders to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, help give kids a better tomorrow. Allen with 140 yards rushing. A big game player, as you see Art Shell and Mervyn Fernandez. And there is the man Marcus. Grew up near here. San Diego, was an outstanding high school quarterback down there, and then of course a Heisman Award winner. And now Jaeger will try the short field goal of 25 yards. They're going to be shuffling off the Buffalo. 20-10 Los Angeles. And we'll have that for you. The Bills and the Raiders. Bills won in the regular season, although the Raiders had the lead and were driving for a possible tying touchdown late when Nate Odom stole the ball. Remember that pass on the sidelines to Willie Gault? Stole it and raced for a touchdown. And the Bills went off to a 34-24, 38-24 win. And again, we remind you at noon on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, it'll be NFL Live with their half-hour pregame. And then the kickoff at Rich Stadium, 12:30 in the East, 9:30 in the West.
You know, this AFC Championship game is a true championship game. For the first time in a number of years, you'd have to say that both of these teams, the Raiders and the Bills, are top-flight, solid, complete football teams that don't win with finesse and don't depend on good fortune to win ball games. These are two of the, like the original AFC Championship games between the Steelers and the Raiders, the Dolphins and the Raiders and Steelers. These kinds of games. This would be a great one.
Well, Garrett and Nicholas, the two sons of Bo Jackson, enjoying Pop's leisure time on this Sunday afternoon. Apparent injury, not serious, a hip injury that sidelined in the second half, but one would have to guess Bo Jackson will be ready to play against Buffalo on Sunday. And if not, the man who had full duty today, Marcus Allen, was absolutely outstanding. Jennings will run it out and hit down at the 12-yard line with 15 seconds to go. And for the fans in Cincinnati of the Bengals and Boomer and Sam White, a team that battled all year, they had that tough 5-game road trip. They started well, had some downtime, won their last 3 very impressively at home against Houston last week. White certainly is the creative man in the game, the innovator who always has something special, and one can.
And he's a great motivator too, Dick. He had this team ready, and this team was outgunned all the way. As we said before the broadcast, at virtually every position the Raiders had them outgunned, and some of the Raider backups were superior players to the Bengals.
Incomplete on the sidelines to Tim McGee. 10 seconds to go. Reminder tonight on NBC and NBC News Special America, Are We Ready for War? Then on Real Life, a real-life look at Michael J. Fox from high school dropout to Hollywood. It's Real Life with Jane Pauley, and then a real-life mafia prince and a dangerous cult are the subjects examined on Expose with Tom Brokaw. And NBC presents a world premiere miniseries, soon to become an NBC series, Dark Shadows. It stars Ben Cross, all tonight on NBC. Eric Ball gets the final call of the game. Final seconds, and congratulations to the LA Raiders. Sam Weiss's Bengals lose to Art Shell's Raiders 20-10. It'll be Buffalo and the Raiders with a chance for the Super Bowl. OJ?
Yeah, I'm down here with Bo Jackson. Bo, you kind of hurt yourself today. You were running real well. Can you tell me the nature of the injury?
It's minor. I will play next Sunday.
You think you'll be there next Sunday? You had an opportunity to watch yesterday's game. Have you ever had the occasion to play in that type of weather, and how do you think you'll do?
I played in it twice, once against the Bills and once against the Giants, so I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice to go up there and play against those guys. We just got to go up and try to play some intense football and try to get a win. Doesn't matter how we do it, we just got to go up and try to win.
Is the injury a hip? Is it a pull, or do you have a hip pointer?
It's a slight hip pointer, so but it's really not that bad.
All right, Bo. Good luck to you. See you next week in Buffalo.
Boy, a couple of greats in that picture. Heisman, Simpson, along with Bo Jackson, who says he'll be ready for Buffalo. Bob Costas on the other side of this commercial with a full Sunday football report.
Ladies and gentlemen.